Joining us today is Janet Keadle, a veteran educational leader and project management expert with over 20 years of experience guiding schools and programs towards success. From increasing student achievement to driving operational improvements, Janet brings deep insight into what it takes to lead with data, collaboration, and heart. Personally, I find the last one the most important, but that's just me. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Why don't we jump right into the questions? What moment in your career has taught you the most?
In my career, that taught me the most was when one of my managers, one of my fellow leaders, reached out to me to have me start working on a new project and move into leadership. I wasn't really looking to go into leadership, but she saw it in me, which really has focused a big on my career to look for that in others as well. She saw it in me, and I started working on a project and started training teachers on a new product and a training program as well. And I thoroughly enjoyed it and didn't even see that in myself, but she had seen that in me. In fact, throughout that program and project, when it ended, I ended up getting an award from my company for that project. And then through that, I've been able to coach lots of other teachers to other areas and coaching them to move up into their careers. And that really has inspired me. She inspired me to do that throughout my career.
That sounds great. When your colleagues or team members describe you, what 3 words do they consistently use?
Well, one of the things they will consistently use is that I'm approachable, that I'm that type of manager that you can come in and ask any question to, and I'm there to listen. So I'm also a good listener. I like to listen to them, and that I'm really am focused on them and their growth and really making sure that everything I do, projects and programs, that when I'm communicating those out, that everybody I can understand it and that I'm reaching them at their level, because even as we know, students all learn differently, but so do my teachers and so do the staff that I work with. So really being approachable, having that great communicating with them. They also see me as an empathetic leader as well, and that I'm really understanding of things and understanding of who they are as people. So that's another really big trait that they say that I am. And probably one of the other traits is that I am creative in terms of what I do for leadership and the programs that I implement. And I really try to make things creative for teachers and other stuff because we ask them to be creative for students. And so we have to be that too and show that and demonstrate that. And I really focus on demonstrating that to them as well.
That sounds outstanding. Outside of your professional achievements, what passion project or personal interest has taught you skills that make you better at what you do?
I'm really passionate about students and I know a lot about education, but there are a lot of resources that don't get out to students, and especially in our underachieving neighborhoods and areas like that. I volunteer at a local high school and do our Super Achievement Spartans. In that, I am helping students write their essays and a plan for college. There's a lot of things in planning for college that students aren't aware of, especially like how do you communicate with your parents? How do you talk about how you're going to spend that money and what it costs, the actual cost? Actually, how do you find out the actual cost? That's a big question too. But really focusing on that, focusing on helping them understand what it's going to be, what's going to be the actual cost you may get in, and how to write those essays and how to determine all those things. So it really does help with project and program management. I've created them Excel spreadsheets and all those other things to help them apply for college and be successful at it.
Outstanding. Can you tell me about a mentor?
Yes. So I've been lucky to have a few mentors in my life. And one such mentor that I have, like I said before, she really did have me reach out and start working into these programs. She also worked with me as my mentor as I was going through my leadership certification stuff for the state of Georgia. She made sure that I didn't stay inside my little sector of my company because often people do. Made me reach out and made sure I was reaching out and talking to various other departments. And that's what she made me do on my projects, make sure I was reaching out to other departments, learning how other departments work and learning how the other stakeholders do. And so that really helped me to expand that. And then she gave me some really stretch box things to do. So my first accreditation project, that was a stretch box thing. And I appreciate that she gave me that. And she saw that I could do that in terms of that. And so she also made me interested in doing employee resource groups. And so I did. I started working on our WOW one, which is my previous company. And then I not just became a member, I became a board member, and then I became a co-chair because to me, it started to be something that I like to do. And part of that program was mentoring other women in the company to help them move up in their career or just just help us to be able to engage with each other.
That's great. What book or podcast has influenced you?
Well, I really like The Seven Mindsets of Leaders by Steve Covey. That's probably one of my favorite books. It's a go-to that I continue to go back to because it seems like seven is just a small number that all of us should remember at all times. But it is, in fact, something you need to really intentionally put into your habits regularly, that you continue to go back and see which habit you're doing really well and which you're not. I got the great opportunity this past year to be able to send I'm working on my educational specialist degree right now. And part of that was being able to send a survey out to previous managers and previous employees to have them skill set me on my leadership. And then going back into that book and looking at how they skill setted me has been really influential for me and growing as a leader.
That's outstanding. Being able to get that feedback and then have a real time tool to be able to look at it and see ways you can improve that's great. If you could spend a day learning from anyone, living or historical, who would that be and why?
I think this is interesting because we want to talk about living or historical. And for me, really the person I would wish to come to be able to talk to about being a leader and growing in my career is my father. Because unfortunately, through COVID, that's when I lost my father. But he was that person that was there, was able to really be able to ask me those insightful questions and make me really think. He would be that other side of it, whether he agreed or disagreed, and be able to share those things with me or share people that I should reach out and talk to. And so that is really, in terms of who I would like to talk to that is no longer living, somebody that would be great to be able to have that relationship again with, be able to talk to and share how my career is going.
I think that's such a great answer. And finally, what do you see as the future of your industry?
Well, my future of my industry is changing, as you're probably aware what's going on in the federal government, possibly the ending of the Department of Education. And so how leaders are going to adjust in resources and funding and what's happening in the school system, what's going to happen with federal grants is going to make lots of changes and decisions, maybe also in the special ed department too as well. There are a lot of jobs in my sector that are jobs that are based on grants that if they end, people obviously might not have those positions, but there's still a lot of needed positions. Education often takes there's a lot of hands and a lot of things to do, but often we are wearing a lot of hats because of the funding. And so that may mean more hats for people as well. And so in my role in a leader position, how can we do projects to alleviate some of those hats off teachers? And I think that's the most important part of a leader in education is getting those projects done and taking those hats off teachers, because teachers' first job is working with students.
Mm-hmm. Very, very important last bit there. Giving teachers the ability to just focus on teaching the students is so critical. And I know my wife and I have known a lot of teachers over the years, and they do so many things on their own. They pay for so many things on their own just to try to fill in any gaps. And it's such a demanding thing. So outstanding. As we wrap, is there anything that we didn't touch on that you think would be important for people to know about you?
Well, like I said before, I really have this passion, and my passion really is about getting resources out. I do believe that everybody, all students, everybody has this ability to learn, and it's our jobs to help them figure out those resources. Some of them, their tool belt is really easy to find. Some have a harder time finding those things too. And I started off in my career, I got a grant to create a greenhouse in the state of Florida, and I worked on that grant project. And to me, that's what it's about. It's about bringing resources, whether it's amazing teachers and coaching them to have those resources and skills, or it's actually bringing a resource like a greenhouse or a software resource to them. That's really my passion to do, and to be able to give people the tools they need so that they can be successful.
Well said. Well said. Well, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
MTMG, guidance that impacts.